Nowadays, people who do not even have the time to spare to understand what is really going on around them, particularly absorbed into the struggle for survival, who mainly let the TV experts think for them, usually form the impression that we live in a chaotic world. Refer, of course, to the victims of those neoliberal globalization, the great majority of the world population, and not those who benefit from it, including many in the intelligentsia who cannot even see that there is a new world order, NWO, based neoliberal globalization managed transnational elite, and by ATE basically elites of the G7 countries. However, it is only within such an analytical framework that one can really understand why our world is anything but chaotic, in the common sense of the unpredictable disorder. The beheadings in Iraq continuously on TV screens, with the repeated obvious intention of the media controlled by the TE to whip up Islamophobia and distract attention from the far bigger massacre in Gaza, as a counterbalance to the rise of anti-Zionism around the world, are directly connected with the NATO-led invasion and the consequent destruction of Iraq. Similarly, the latter is directly linked to the previous brutal NATO bombings in Yugoslavia that were designed to dismember that country, as well as to the similar NATO bombings in Libya that followed, which destroyed the country's infrastructure and converted it into a failed state. Then came the organized armed insurrection in Syria, and nobody will be surprised if similar to the Libyan NATO bombings are about to start there, on the pretext of fighting terrorists, the same ones who up to a few months ago were supported by the LE with the aim to overthrow Assad. Finally, we saw this year that the model of armed insurrections was transplanted to the European soil itself, in Ukraine, Islamist, which threatens to draw even the entire continent into an all-out war. Now we have Russia impeding NATO's plan to have any association with Ukraine in a move and a takeover. Shogunsec feels that NATO and the CFR are the ones pulling the strings, as Soros is as well. We will be targeting those involved and those affiliated. Targeting Russia in itself is a waste of time, as seems to me to be a psyop. Shogunsec will target the puppets instead. They are a bunch of clown